Now, I will be sharing with you on the topic that says developing leadership competencies for personal and organizational productivity. Developing leadership competencies for personal and organizational productivity. Now, I'm going to try to keep it simple. I'm going to try to keep it simple because tonight something is going to hit you there. I'm going to take it from where Alero stopped, and this is going to be mind blowing for you. It's going to be a changing moment, a defining moment for each and every one of you. Now, before I start, I would like to tell you something important about my life. Very important. I have a passion, and that passion is to see you that is listening to me today, see you become a better person. I am moved by this passion. It's like a fuel that burns in my inside. It can't just let me sit down. I want to see you listening to me become better, improve yourself, develop yourself. Now, every other day, I see that people are longing for a change. They want to buy a better car. They want to marry a good wife. People want to do better in their academics. People want to excel at their place of work, start a business, do this and do that. People are always desiring something better. But it will interest you to know that these things are results of your becoming a better person. When you become a better person, the direct product is that you perform better. You become better at all these things we're talking about. So for you to excel in your academics, for you to be better in your business, for you to have good relationships, marry a good wife, marry a good husband, raise up good children, have a lovely family, you must be committed to becoming a better person. As you become a better person, naturally, things change around you. Very important. Hear me clearly. All the things you're desiring, all the things you want in life, they are tied to your improving and developing yourself. As you improve and become better, your academics gets better, your business gets better, everything around you changes for the better. Very important. These things don't happen by magic. It happens by your developing yourself. And my favorite quote I always tell people is that your ability to your being successful in life is largely dependent on your ability to develop yourself. Get that again. Your success in life, in anything you do, is directly related to your ability to lead yourself. Now, why am I saying this? You cannot really improve, you cannot really develop, you cannot really become a better person except you consciously develop your leadership competencies. I'm going to break it down for you. Let me repeat. I said you cannot really develop, you cannot improve, you cannot become better until you consciously develop your leadership potentials. And that is why the topic we're treating today is very, very important. Now, in the next 20 minutes or thereabout, I'm going to be talking to you about developing your leadership competencies. Now, the first question is, what are leadership competencies? And I promised you that I'm going to keep it simple. You see, they are skills, they are attributes you possess, they are behaviors that contributes to your superior performance at anything you do. Leadership competencies are the skills you acquire, they are attributes you showcase every day, they are behaviors that you exhibit every day that guarantees you, that contributes to your superior performance at anything you do. So whenever you see anybody at the place of work excelling, being promoted, somebody is efficiently delivering at his place of work, he has consciously developed some leadership competencies. If you see anybody, a businessman who is doing well in his business, they know that there are ways, there are some behavioral patterns he's exhibiting. There are skills that he is exhibiting. There are attributes that he possesses that is ensuring that he's excelling in his business. If you see any married person in his marriage doing so well in the marriage, it's as a result of these things. In your church, in your relationships, in academics, in every area of your life, if you are excelling, it is because you are exhibiting some rare skills. So when you see Ronaldo in football scoring some kind of goals, or Lionel Messi, it's not magic. They have consciously developed certain skills that are ensuring that they perform at a superior level. So don't just envy people when they display these things. Just know that there is a knowledge they have that you don't have. There is a skill they have that you don't have. There are habits which they are living out, that is ensuring that they excel at anything they do in life. So I want to challenge you today. Leadership competencies, very important. When you acquire them, you begin to perform at an extraordinary level, and people will just begin to wow at you because you are performing extraordinarily. Very important. Now, let me give you some of these leadership competencies. One is integrity. Another one is communication. Another one could be self-discipline. Another one could be teamwork. Then you have problem solving. You have initiative, conflict management. There are several of them. There are many. So your ability to show or live out these skills and attributes will make you a better person in life. You can imagine you possess integrity. Alero has been talking so much about integrity, and I love that. You exhibit integrity and you communicate very well. You have self-discipline. You have skills for teamwork. You have a problem-solving skill. These are things that improve you and make you a better person. And as you exhibit them, I'm telling you, they enhance your performance at anything you do. They just enhance your performance. They increase trust that people have in you. Your trust and commitment, the trust and commitment people have when you're doing anything, they are committed to it. They just trust you, your team members and all that. Ultimately, all these things make you a better leader in life. You just become a better leader. People admire you. People want you to mentor them. Why? Because you are exhibiting some rare qualities, some rare skills in life that are making you outstanding. So your ability to showcase these things and leave them out simply just singles you out from the crowd. You become different. And that's exactly what Alero was passing across to us. Very important. The ability to be consistent at anything you do, it just stands you out. There are no shortcuts to these things. These things are very important. Now, let me share my testimony a little bit with you. When I was in Nigeria, way back in 2003, I was worshiping in a church called First Love Assembly in Owerri. I was made the youth fellowship president. So I started a youth fellowship. And you won't believe it, because I was studious, because I was studying about leadership, because I was developing myself on a daily basis, I started a youth fellowship that became the best youth fellowship in Imo State. You can imagine a youth fellowship of a church where members from Winners Chapel, from Redeemed, from Church of God Mission and all that, we are all pouring into the fellowship. Other churches were asking, what was the thing that we were doing differently? Was there any magic to it? No. It was just that I was consciously developing my leadership competencies, my ability to work as a team with people, my ability to communicate with people, my ability to live out a life of integrity, my ability to solve problems and all that. I put all these things together because I acquired them by attending conferences like this, by studying leadership, by reading books and all that. And at the end of the day, people just began to follow, because naturally people tend to gravitate towards somebody who has a strong influence, an influence that is stronger than them. They naturally gravitate towards it. And the youth fellowship was blooming, and members were joining the church because of the youth fellowship. Now, it made me set up my company, New Era Concerns Nigeria Company, which I set up in 2005. And then by 2011, we started organizing what we call the New Era International Leadership Conference, a conference that was hosting over 1,000 people yearly, gathering in Owerri from all over the country. And why were they able to gather? It is because we're producing outstanding results. We're doing something different from what other people were doing because of practicing these core leadership competencies. And as a speaker, when I was in Nigeria, I was invited to several states to come and speak on leadership and all that. So I'm going to be sharing with you 3 very important leadership competencies. The 3 I consider very, very important. Number 1, again, is what Alero was talking about, and that is integrity. Very important. I'm going to talk to you about integrity. Integrity is the ability to act in ways that are consistent with values, with principles, with beliefs. Acting in a way that is consistent with moral principles. Acting in ways that are consistent with the values. When you're working in a company, the company has core values. So people, companies, organizations look out for people who have integrity, people who are going to work in line with their core values. Not when the core value says excellence, you're not giving out excellence. Not when it says the core value says integrity, you're doing other things. So integrity also means doing the right thing when no one else is watching. This is one outstanding leadership competency that will distinguish you anywhere. It makes people to trust you. It makes people to believe in you. It doesn't mean that you're perfect. No, that's not what integrity means. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It just simply means that even when you make a mistake, you're honest about it. You're humble about it. It means just being consistent. When I say I'll be there by 8 o'clock, I get there by 8. When I say I'm going to do this, I will do that. Even when nobody is watching me, I'm still living that life that I live outside. Not in the public, I'm this person, then in the private, I'm another person. Because a lot of people spend their time trying to protect their reputation and not their character. They are so concerned about reputation, what people think about them. Then that makes them, when they go outside, they try to act in a way to fall in line with expectations of people of them. Then when they get back home in their private, in their family and all that, they are a different person. So integrity is very important. Now, for integrity, you need to have consistency of character, both in your personal relationship and in your professional relationships. Consistency in your character, both in your personal relationships with people and also professionally. When you get to your place of work, integrity with your professional colleagues and integrity in your personal life, very important. Now, how can I develop this very important competency? Number one is making up your mind that you will uphold the values, beliefs of your company or organization, even when it is a challenge. The company says this, I will uphold it. And this is very critical to companies because their core values are very important to them. So when you're there and you're flouting these core values, you're on your way out. Definitely, you're not a person of integrity. So make sure you're upholding these values. Number two, admitting your mistakes. Admitting your mistakes with an honest and humble attitude. Be very honest about it. When I do something wrong, even my little child, my little daughter, I apologize to her. When she says, Daddy, this, I tell her, I'm sorry. I can apologize to a 5-year-old child. I admit my mistakes. I don't try to like defend myself even when I'm wrong. In my marriage, I apologize to my wife. When I'm wrong, I tell her, honey, I'm sorry. So you have to have honest and humble attitude. When you make mistakes, own up to it. You're not infallible. You're not above error. Then another one is, in order to also develop integrity, you have to prioritize honesty in your dealings with people. Be very honest. Be very open-minded with people. Don't try to hide. These things are things that will affect your integrity. And the last of all, which is the most important, the word of God. Definitely, if you want to build integrity, fall in line with Bible principles. Bible says that the word of God is quick and powerful. Very important. It's for correction, it's for reproof, to make you a better person. Very important. So a wonderful quote I read up says, the things you do when no one is looking are the things that define you. The things you do when no one is watching you are really the things that define you. Number two, competence I'm going to share with you today is communication. I'm going to look at communication as a very important leadership competency that will distinguish you, make you outstanding anywhere you are. And under communication, I'm going to be looking at interpersonal skills. Very important, interpersonal skills. Now, interpersonal skills are those behaviors and tactics a person exhibits, uses it to interact with others effectively, probably in your place of work, in your company or anywhere. So interpersonal skills are those behaviors, they are those tactics you use to interact with people effectively in your place of work, or even individually in any relationship you're involved in. It's your employees, the ability of employees to interact with people very well at the place of work. Companies look out for this competency. Very important. They don't want people who can't relate well, people who can't integrate into their system. Let me give you an example of my testimony. I live in the United Kingdom. I came over here last year, July. I've been here a year and I got myself a company where I was posted to work. And when I got there, because of this communication, this interpersonal skills, I was able to distinguish myself in that place, relating with people there very well at work. Excellent customer service. That at the end of the day, my manager wrote an appraisal for me. And they said that the company has never seen such an appraisal written for anybody. And these are because when I was way back in Nigeria, I made it a point of duty to develop the art of communication. If you listen to my citation, it says that I run a public speaking company where I teach people, a public speaking school, where I teach people how to speak and interact with people. Very important. Your skills and tactics relating with people will stand you out anywhere you go. How you relate with them, how you converse with them, how you tend to sympathize with them when they have a need, how you appreciate them, how you add value to people anywhere you meet them. You consciously add value to them. It requires skills. If you don't know these things, you won't excel in them. And then you'll be wondering, why is it that people don't like me in my place of work or in the church where I worship? Why am I having problems? In my school, why am I having problems? It is because you lack interpersonal skills. You're always having problems with people because you don't know how to relate. If you see anybody relating well, enjoying wonderful relationship, either with the wife or with friends, there are skills, behaviors, tactics the person is applying, consciously or unconsciously. So you must consciously study these skills, acquire them, put them in your bag, in your pocket when you're going anywhere. And you see people meet you and they're like, wow, who is this? We changed location from Ashford. We are now living in Brighton with my family, and I was posted to another place to work. I got there, only 4 days of working there, 4 days only. The manager of the place was so surprised, so impressed with my attitude and interpersonal skills that on my wife's birthday, that was just 4 days after I started work, the manager herself, I was posted out from that place to another place. The manager baked a birthday cake for my wife. Somebody who has never met me before, a British, baked the cake for my wife and sent it through a staff to come and meet me where I was in another place I was posted, to give me the birthday cake in appreciation for all the little I've done within the first 4 days. Very important. So, example of how you can develop these this communication, this interpersonal skills. Number one is always listen to others. As little as that is, it makes you a better person. Now, we're not talking about the very big things. I'm telling you, your ability to listen to people. Some people actually don't listen. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Somebody's speaking and you're like, I'm hearing you. Of course, you're hearing because you have an ear. Anybody who has an ear hears. But listening is hearing with an intention to understand what that person is saying. It's a skill. And that just distinguishes you. So when people are talking and you're like, just wait and finish, let me say my own, you're hearing. And that is why you miss out the little details, such that when you're not talking, you go off point. So and that is why people listen to you talk and they're like, this guy is not sound. They can just grade you because when the other person was speaking, you could not pick out certain things. And then when you were responding, you responded totally off point, totally negative, which means you were not listening. So companies are very careful when they are employing. They want a staff who can integrate well with others, who listens to others when they are speaking, because that is when you can respond better. That is when you can advise better. And if you are here, you have a gift in the area of advising people, counseling people, and all that, you have to have developed consciously a listening ear. So always listening to others is one way you can improve your interpersonal relationship. And then that brings me to the issue of nonverbal communication. So when I'm listening to you, you will, in your heart, you will know that this person cares. That's one of the things you pass across to people when you listen to them. They just believe that you care. Very important. So when somebody is speaking, I'm like, okay. And then you can't even ask people questions if you're not listening. If somebody is talking and the person is just talking, and then you can't even, nod your head and say, okay, what of this, what of that? That means you are not listening. And the moment people know that you're not listening to them, they cut off from you. Naturally, they just cut off from you. They don't want to come close to you because you don't listen to them. But when they know you're listening, they have this feeling of this sense of belonging, and they know that you care for them. Another one on how to develop your interpersonal skills is be open to consider other people's point of view. Be very open. Don't have a fixed mindset. When people are talking, be open. Don't just harden your heart and stick to your own view. Be open, because what that person is saying might be a superior view or superior opinion than the one you have. And then when you're discussing with people and you can go like, yeah, I think you're right. I think what you're saying is true. I think you have a better suggestion. You have a better opinion than the one I had. That way you're warming up to those people. And these are qualities that makes you outstanding when you relate with people. Number 3 is deliver instructions clearly and thoroughly. Your ability to communicate clearly and thoroughly makes you outstanding. It makes you a better person. It just naturally makes people get attracted to you. You deliver, you communicate instructions very clearly. That way, in a company, they like such people because there is a chain of command. Instructions passed down from the manager or general manager down to the manager to the next person, keeps going down. So when it comes to you and you cannot deliver those instructions clearly and thoroughly, a chain of command is broken. And that way, things are not done, results are not produced. So another thing is always be humble. That's another thing that can help you develop good interpersonal skills. Be very humble. Whenever people see you as a proud person and all that, they are withdrawn from you, etc. Number 3 is self-discipline. Number 3 leadership competency is self-discipline. I love this one. I'm just choosing the very important ones I consider so important that affects other competencies. So self-discipline, what is it? It's the ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Your ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not, that is what self-discipline is. And Brian Tracy wrote in his book, The Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuse. He said that he interviewed over 1,000 businessmen who were excelling in their business. It was obvious that these 1,000 businessmen were practicing several leadership competencies. They've developed them. And that is why they were excelling so much in their business. And he asked them a direct question. He said, what is the common denominator? What is the most important thing you have practiced that has caused you to excel in your business? He said the 1,000 of them never mentioned the course they studied in the university. They never mentioned I studied business admin, or I had an MBA or whatever. They never said that. They said the common denominator, the most important factor to their success in business was self-discipline, the ability to discipline themselves. So when you have self-discipline as a skill you have acquired, as a competency and all that, something, an attribute, a behavioral pattern, something happens to you. And what is it? You see yourself improving and getting better. I ought to read my Bible by this time. I ought to read books by this time. I ought to be here. I ought to be doing this. I ought to be resting. I ought to be, in the playground trying to exercise myself. And that is self-discipline. Out here in the UK, this is one competence I have been struggling with. I am struggling with it even till today. I told myself here that I'm going to start exercising every morning. I did it for 10, 12 days and all that. I couldn't continue. Why? Because it's still that issue of self-discipline. There are so many things you have said, I want to do. And when you start, after 3 or 4 days, you find yourself, that is because you lack self-discipline. And even in that same book, Brian Tracy said, anything you practice 21 days non-stop, you do it for 21 days non-stop, your body system gets used to that thing. Then the next time you're trying to do it, it's no more a struggle, it becomes a habit. Now look at that. If I want to start reading every morning by 4 a.m., I want to wake up and read my Bible. Then I try it for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. By day 10, I stop. I have to start all over again. But if I can discipline myself and continue for 21 days non-stop, waking up by 4 a.m., 21 days non-stop, by the 22nd, 23rd day, it's no longer a struggle. My body system has gotten used to that particular lifestyle. It now becomes automatic. I wake up easily and I go and do it. I don't struggle anymore with it. Very important. So I challenge you today listening to me. If there is any habit, good habit you want to develop, if there is any competency you want to develop, if there is something you want to start doing, I want to start reading 5 books in a month. I want to do this, or you have your targets, set your targets of what you want to do, what you want to achieve in a day. If you can seriously do that for 21 days, every morning or night, setting the target for the next day for 21 days without stopping, by the 22nd, 23rd day becomes a natural thing for you to do. You don't struggle. In the night, you just find yourself sitting down effortlessly with your pen and paper, planning the next day. And these are the things that make you a better person. These are the things that ensures you have superior performance. You perform better than others who are not doing it. And it makes you excel at your place of work, excels in a church, anywhere you find yourself. When we came over here in the UK, I joined a church in Ashford. It didn't take me 2 weeks of staying there. The pastor there just singled me out. It happens most places I go to. Why? Because there is just this something about you when you comport yourself, when you are self-disciplined. To do, it's time to do this, you do it. It's time to move here, you move. You just abide by things that were said there, and you do it with passion, with religiously. Somebody just notices and says, this person is something else. Bring him up. We want him here. And that was how the church, the pastor just noticed me and all that, and began to like get close with, started getting close to me. And before I knew it, the pastor claimed that my wife and I were so much affected his ministry. And then when I organized my leadership conference 2020, last year, June, he was a speaker, and a lot of members from here in UK joined the conference, and they wowed at, I didn't just jump there and told him, I'm into leadership. I've been speaking, I've been this and that. I came down and humbled myself, started from the scratch in the church. But within 1 month or 2 months, I was discovered. They said, no, this guy is not just, I didn't come there shouting. I came there just creeping quietly into the place, but started contributing my quota here and there, and then exhibiting the skills and the attributes and the passion and the behavioral patterns I'm consistent with. Like Alero was talking about back in Nigeria, I started doing them, and before I knew it, the church exploded. And the day my wife and I were leaving the church, moving over to another location, the pastor said that we have affected him in 1 year much more than a lot of people in the church for 16 years. For 16 years, he has been in ministry. He said he can count a few people who have affected them, the ministry, his life, and his family, the way my wife have done it in just 1 year of staying there. And why is that so? It's because some people who have been developing themselves, who have been conscious about personal development, acquiring leadership competencies here and there, attending trainings, self-discipline, interpersonal skills, and all that, suddenly came into a place and was naturally living their life, what they are used to doing. They weren't forcing it, they weren't pushing it, and that was it. Very important. So how do you develop self-discipline? Number one, making yourself aware of how your decisions affect others. Very important. That's one of the ways you can develop self-discipline. Not putting yourself first. Making yourself aware. This is how my decisions affect other people. Can help you develop self-discipline. Very important. Number two, managing your time effectively. One of the ways you know somebody who is indisciplined is in timing. Anybody who doesn't respect timing is irresponsible. Take it from me. So if you're here listening to me and you don't respect time, you're always late for programs, late for church service, late for activities. When they tell you come by this time, you come 5 minutes after. Hear me, you are irresponsible. You are irresponsible. Timing is very important. Mike Murdoch said the next most important gift Jesus gave to us, or God gave to us after the gift of Jesus Christ, after the gift of the Holy Spirit, is time. You have 24 hours in a day. The richest man in the world has 24 hours. That young man, that whoever you think who you admire so much, has 24 hours. Nobody has 25 hours in a day. The most important thing is, what do you do with your 24 hours? That's what distinguishes you. That's the difference between you and the next person. That person who is excelling makes use of his time more than you do. And one of the hardest areas to discipline oneself is in the area of timing. If you can score it there, I give you kudos. So start managing your time effectively. Draw up your agenda, your program for the day. Stick to it, whether you feel like it or not. When I was in Nigeria, at times when I plan my program, what to do, even when I've not eaten and I'm hungry from morning, but I know this is a target, I have to hit it. Food will wait. If I don't eat food, I won't die. You can live for 40 days without food and water, medical, and you will not die. So I make sure that I achieve my targets, whether I feel like it or not. Very important. Another way you can develop self-discipline is by committing yourself to personal development. Committing yourself to personal development. Personal development are a series of activities you consciously involve yourself in that guarantees you growth, progress in life. So you have to sit down, make a commitment to develop yourself, and then not only making the commitment, begin to do things, begin to get involved in activities that will guarantee you growth. Not every action leads to productivity. Not every motion is movement forward. So there are so many things we're involved in, we're doing that it's not developing us. So learn to cut off those things and bring in more of activities and things that will develop you and make you progress. So the question is, sit down and ask yourself, I've been doing this thing for the past 1 month. Am I better? Am I better in that thing I'm doing? Very important. If it's not making you better, throw it away. Get it out. It's consuming your time. So commit yourself. If you can commit yourself to personal development, you're on your way to developing self-discipline. Another thing is that's choosing to prioritize the need of others over yourself. That's another thing. It disciplines you. It hits the flesh. Prioritizing more the need of others than yourself. So when you kill self, you're disciplining yourself. Very important. Now, Stephen Covey said something, and I want to read that quote to you. He said, you can't talk your way out of a problem you behaved your way into. Stephen Covey said, you cannot talk your way out of a problem you behaved your way into. Meaning that if you must get out of it, you must behave your way out of it. You can't talk your way out of it. It was your attitude, your behavior, your lack of skills that got you into that trouble. Pray and fast till tomorrow until you also change what you're doing. If you continue doing that same thing you were doing after praying, you're not moving anywhere. And that is the religion many of us are into back home in Nigeria. Religion is killing a lot of us there. Religiously in the things we do, not asking ourselves whether this thing is leading to anywhere or not. So when you're praying every day and your actions are canceling your prayer, you're not going anywhere. That's religion. You go to church every Sunday, bow your heads in the morning, keep praying and fasting and all that, but your actions are going on the opposite direction of what you're praying about. You can't get any result out of it. So, by the grace of God, like I told you, I've been here and I've been practicing the things I've learned in Nigeria, and I'm still learning, and those things are distinguishing me every day. Now, let me summarize what I've been telling you so far. I said that leadership competencies are those skills, those attributes, those behaviors that guarantees you superior performance. And I told you here that all those things you're desiring in life, they are directly related to your getting better in life, directly proportional to becoming better. The more you become better, the more those things are getting closer. They are coming closer and closer to you. So make a commitment today that I will become a better person. How? By developing leadership competencies. List them out and begin to work towards them. Go for trainings. Very important. Read books. Very important. Apply the things you've learned. Brian Tracy said, a simple thing, applying the things I've learned have just improved my life. When you learn and you don't apply, you stay in the same place. You're not growing. You're static. You're stagnant, and stagnant water smells. So if you have a friend and as you relate with the person, you're not getting better, quit the relationship. Because for me, relationships are just two people coming together in order to become better. Two people coming together to be better. So if you're coming together, it's not making you better, quit it. Anything that is not working, do away with it. I see a lot of people on Facebook right there every time. For some time, I've not been there. There are times you draw back in order to get energy to move again. You hardly hear me talk about things I don't practice. You hardly hear me. You can invite me to come and speak about a topic. If I know I'm not living at that topic, I'll tell you, sorry, look for another person. That is why I concentrate on leadership. I'm focused on it. Because if you ask me evidence of my leadership, I have results to show by the grace of God for it. I'm working in a place in the UK here, in my place of work. The people there, they're not Christians. They don't even believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. I've worked there for about 2 months. But it will interest you to know that we're about 7 in that office right now. About 2 of them, one has bought a Bible because of me. She went and bought a Bible and she has started reading. And before a white person can, because of you, go and buy a Bible, it's not like in Nigeria when you do, everybody carries Bible. She now reads the Bible. The other person promised to go and buy her own Bible tomorrow and all that. Why? Because my life, my relationship with them, they are seeing. They asked me a question the other day. They said, why are you always happy? You can't understand me. Why are you always happy? And I told them, Jesus, God, the word of God, real life things. They said, you're just so open. They said, you're a star. You glow. When I'm not around, they said, when you're not around, it's not the same in this office. Why? Because leadership competencies, I'm applying them. And the thing is distinguishing me. I told them I've written a book. They're like, wow, you mean you've written a book? I told them, go to Amazon. Google it in Amazon. And they Googled in Amazon, the coin and the stuff. They saw my book published in Amazon. They started looking at me, wow, who is this person? My manager, I even bought a book and gave to her to read. So I sent her an ebook, on leadership. She's up there and I'm here as it were, but I'm affecting her organization, adding value. Every place I've been to here in the UK, consciously I've been adding value to people, adding value to the organization. And that is singling me out everywhere I go. Let me conclude by saying this. There's one challenge I've seen in my country, Nigeria, which bleeds my heart. And I want to talk about it. In America, that is what they practice. They call it the Canine Formula. C-A-N-E-I, Canine. If you have read Brian Tracy's book, you'll see it there. It means continuous, C, continuous, A and N never, E ending, I improvement. Continuous and never ending improvement. That means that it is something, a leadership competence that is built in them, programmed and built. That if an American produces this pen, the next time he's going to produce it, he will make sure it will be better than this. Anything they have now, by the time you come and see it in the next 5 years, it must be better than it was today. Now, let me tell you why my heart bleeds. I schooled in Federal Government College Okigwe. I schooled there from 1981 to 1986. By 1981, my father took me to Okigwe. Now, if you are like me, what I'm about to share with you will bring out tears from your eyes. 1981, I plied on a road from Owerri to Okigwe. By 2020, 39 years after, the road is in a mess. In fact, it's not a road any longer. The quota on the road is destroyed. There are gullies, gutters, ditches. In fact, you have to cut off at a point and enter inside the village. This is a road that was built 39 years ago. And 39 years later, it has gone back. In the UK here, you pass a road, by the 3 weeks time or 4 weeks, next time you pass the road, they've added something that will make it better. Anything, any company, anything you see functioning or working, by the time you come in 1 year, they have improved on it. But in my country, a road 39 years later was worse than it was. You know what that tells me? Go and ask people. They will tell you that Nigeria was better in the 80s than now. You know what that means? That means that we were better people in the 80s. Now we are worse people. Because those roads don't decay on their own. Companies don't get destroyed on their own. It's people that destroy them. In Owerri, where I lived before I traveled, every other year, new hotels are built with state-of-the-art facilities. Those hotels barely rain for 2 years. Go and check the facilities there. They are dilapidated. Human beings running organizations. Concord Hotel, when it started in Owerri, it was a state of the art. It was like a place people go for pilgrimage. They'll go there now. All the facilities are almost gone. People who are not developing, managing, who have not bothered developing leadership competence. As you're listening to me now, I don't know whether you are consciously developing yourself. If they hand over an organization to you now, will you kill it or will you take it higher? Somebody jokingly said, if you clear Americans and bring them to Nigeria and move Nigerians to America and give us 5 years there, we'll destroy the place and make it worse than where we came from. Why? Human beings, individuals, you and I. We run things down. Anything given to your hands, put in your hands cannot prosper or grow. Rather, we'll get it down. It's not because of any other thing. It's because we are not developing as a people. If we're improving as a person, we'll produce better results. Have you heard about Dubai? 1970, 69, that place was sand all through. Desert. Enter Dubai today. Ruled by Muslims, not Christians. Enter Dubai and see the technology and the advancement. Those things came out of people, came out from inside people. Came from inside of somebody, because you don't give what you don't have. You bring it out from your inside. So when your inside is dirty, filthy, stagnant, that's what you bring out. So our youths in Nigeria, I challenge you. When they say the youths are rising up, if they give us the place to take over, what can we really do? Are we developing ourselves? Are we improving? Very important. So I leave you with this. Continuous and never-ending improvement. May that be your goal from today. Make sure that every day you're adding block upon block to your life. Listen to me, time will come for you to showcase it. What you call luck is when preparation meets with opportunity. People call it luck. So keep on developing yourself, because one day, hear me as I say this in closing, I believe strongly that the time is coming in Nigeria when people will be begging people with integrity to come and lead them. Take your money, to hell with your money, to hell with your bag of rice, your everything. We want people with integrity. So those times are waiting for you and I. They are waiting for you and I. And if you're not developing yourself and preparing yourself, you won't, such opportunity, you'll miss it. And you say somebody is lucky. It's not luck. People are going to send for me from here. Come back home, where we want you. You're the person. Come and take over. Come and make our nation or our state a better place. So by then, we'll be looking for people like you to make you ministers, commissioners, and put you in places, because we know you have integrity. We know you're going there to serve and not to run the place down. Because if you don't have that stuff in the inside of you and they hand you over a beautiful thing, you will destroy it. And which is what we're seeing happen back in our place. But here we see things going up and getting better every day. They are bettering everything here. On a daily basis, people are thinking how to better the society, how to better humanity. You will not believe it that a dog here is happy. I've touched over 50 dogs I don't know. Dogs. I just see a dog on the road, I will carry it and it will be wagging its tail. But go and try it in Nigeria. Even the dogs are angry. Very angry. Why? Because our leaders have made us angry and we have made the animals angry. But here, believe me, when I came here, it was a surprise. People just see dog and they just ask the owner, you mind if I pat it? They say, go ahead. They just carry the dog. Even dogs that are looking angry in their looks, bulldogs that are ugly, people just pat them and carry them and all that. I say, what's happening here? Before I knew it, I started doing the same thing. But in Nigeria, go and touch somebody's dog that you want to carry. If the dog doesn't bite off your hand, you will know why. Because they're angry. And why are they angry? The true test of your leadership is if the people you're leading are happy. When you're leading any organization, you're leading any people, and the people are happy, then you're succeeding as a leader. So in the UK here, not only are the people happy, even their animals, their dogs are happy that they are being led well. Thank you very much, and God bless you.